There were fewer people walking the aisles at this year's Cityscape Abu Dhabi. The downturn in the region's property market has hit hard with developers and investors looking abroad for new opportunities. Ian Albert is the Regional Director of global real estate advisory firm Colliers International.
Obviously there are a limited number of projects for them to focus on at home, and also there's a management of supply. A lot of the big players in the local market here understand that as they are the largest player, they're going to be cautious about how much supply they're bringing to the market, because the supply, if they oversupply, they'll weaken prices at home.
I think there was an expectation that perhaps the market in this region would be less affected than the rest of the world. That's now proven not to be the case, depending on location, and therefore geographical diversity coming into some of those investment portfolios is to become very important going forward.
One project that has already attracted interest and investment is Iskandar, Malaysia, the country's vast new economic zone covering more than 2,000 square kilometres, with 9 cluster industries ranging from education to logistics. Such a strategy of economic and industrial diversification should create, according to the development CEO, ongoing sustainable growth.
The strategy that we have, and then looking at the fundamentals of it, the 9 clusters that we have, and the vision that we have, we are confident that over the planning period that we have, we'll achieve the 7 to 8% growth over the planning period that we have in our strategy.
The project has already attracted 80% of its initial target of $13 billion, almost $2 billion of which arrived from the Arabian Gulf.
Iskandar is one example of a large-scale integrated development that has different components in it. So this is one example of a large-scale development that will attract not just real estate but other industries as well.
When completed, Iskandar, Malaysia is expected to create 800,000 new jobs. Aldar, part of the Gulf Consortium investing in Iskandar, along with Kuwait Finance House and Abu Dhabi's Mubadala, is convinced of its attractiveness.
Malaysia has great potential relative to the Singapore market and in its own right, and all of the research that we've done to date is pointing very much to a high level of demand going forward, particularly in the commercial field in terms of residential and infrastructure, hospitals and all those things. We're confident that that's going to be a very successful project.
There's no question, though, that the economic downturn, which some people are describing as the worst in 70 years, is having an impact.
We have to be realistic. Indeed, we know what's happening here, so we are staying close with the investors, and so that we understand actually what their plans are. So far, we see that the developers here actually are committed for the long term, so I think that's good for us.
In fact, the crisis has meant some aspects of the project have been brought forward, according to the managing director of the project's investment arm.
The stimulus packages that were approved last year by the finance minister, who's now the prime minister, in particular the second package, which was the mini budget, an amount of 1.75 billion ringgit was approved for Iskandar, Malaysia. And really these are projects that we had been looking at more in the planning stage that's now being brought forward. As an example, Legoland, which we were looking at opening for operations in 2013, has been brought forward a year. So we are actually accelerating some of the strategic initiatives.
Iskandar, Malaysia is located next to Singapore on an important nexus on the historic spice route, and today the development believes it will benefit from that same geographic location at the heart of a vast regional investment triangle.
If you look at the overall picture of where Iskandar is, the crossroad between the east and the west, China and India, and the proximity to Singapore, we are actually at the tip of the Southeast Asia. With a population of 500 over million people, there's a great opportunity for Iskandar and for the area in Southeast Asia to be working together.
There's no question that the global economy is still in a perilous state, but no recession lasts forever, and when it ends, it's diversified developments that should be best set to reap future rewards.